In 2017, Sarah Johnson, a 29-year-old graphic designer from Denver, Colorado, decided to take a leap of faith. After years of saving up, she finally purchased her first home, a cozy, two-bedroom house in a quiet suburban neighborhood. The place wasn't perfect, it needed a few repairs, but Sarah was thrilled. To help with the mortgage, she decided to rent out the smaller bedroom to a tenant. Enter Marcus Bell, a seemingly polite and quiet man in his mid-30s. Marcus responded to Sarah's online ad, and his references checked out. He worked nights at a logistics company and assured Sarah that he'd be out of the house most of the time. The arrangement seemed perfect, and Marcus moved in within a week. For the first couple of months, things went smoothly. Marcus paid rent on time, kept to himself, and was rarely home. Sarah barely saw him, and when she did, he was always soft-spoken and polite. But soon, subtle oddities began creeping into Sarah's daily life. At first, Sarah thought she was just being forgetful. She'd find lights left on in rooms she rarely used, windows slightly ajar when she was sure she'd closed them, and objects like her car keys or phone charger not where she'd left them. One night, while working late on a design project, she heard faint footsteps coming from the attic. Her heart raced, but she quickly brushed it off. Probably just the house settling, she told herself. Still, she couldn't shake the feeling that something was off. The following week, Sarah returned home from a weekend trip to find her bedroom door slightly open. She was certain she'd locked it before leaving. Inside, nothing appeared out of place, but she felt a chill run down her spine. The turning point came late one night when Sarah was lying in bed scrolling through her phone. She heard faint breathing too close to be from another room. She froze, listening intently, but after a few moments, the sound stopped. Determined to figure out what was going on, Sarah installed a small camera in the living room while Marcus was at work. The next morning, she checked the footage and what she saw made her blood run cold. Around 2 a.m., Marcus emerged from his bedroom, but instead of heading to the kitchen or bathroom, he crouched down by the vent in the hallway. He whispered something too soft for the camera to pick up, then slid a small note through the vent. After a few minutes, he returned to his room. Sarah felt a wave of nausea. Who or what was on the other side of that vent? Unable to sleep, Sarah called a locksmith and had the locks changed that afternoon. She also decided to inspect the attic, something she'd been avoiding since moving in. When she opened the attic door, the musty smell hit her first. With a flashlight in hand, she climbed up and froze in horror. There was a makeshift bed in one corner, complete with blankets and pillows. Empty food wrappers and water bottles littered the floor. But what truly terrified her were the dozens of photos pinned to the walls, all of Sarah. Some of the pictures were recent, taken through the windows of the house. Others were old, clearly stolen from her social media. In the center of the wall was a note written in jagged handwriting, "I've always been watching." Panicked, Sarah called the police and showed them the attic. They confirmed that someone had been living up there for months, likely entering through an old exterior vent. The police advised Sarah to stay elsewhere while they investigated. That night, she stayed with a friend, but Marcus called her repeatedly, demanding to know where she was. Sarah didn't answer. When the police finally arrested him 2 days later, the full story came out. Marcus wasn't just her tenant, he was an obsessed stalker who had been watching Sarah for years. He'd manipulated his way into her home and used his night shifts as an excuse to stay hidden in the attic during the day. Marcus was charged with stalking, breaking and entering, and several other offenses. Sarah moved out of the house, unable to shake the feeling of being watched. She started therapy to cope with the trauma, but remains hypervigilant about her surroundings to this day. The case left many in disbelief. How could someone live in such close quarters without being detected? The thought of a silent tenant haunted Sarah, and it's a reminder to all of us that sometimes, the scariest monsters are the ones hiding in plain sight. If you found this story chilling, make sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell so you never miss another twisted tale. Share this video with friends who love true crime, and let me know in the comments what story you'd like to hear next. Thanks for watching, and remember, always check your attic.